Game designers are no longer needed. Whoa. That used to be kind of a running joke in game dev circles, right? A funny, but, a totally empty threat. But what if? What if it's not a joke anymore? Well, according to veteran game designer A. Sitnikov, the crazy fast rise of AI has basically turned that joke into a really, really serious question. And it's a question that, honestly, every single person in game development needs to be asking themselves, like right now. Okay, so let's just dive right in. In this explainer, we're going to break down A. Sitnikov's whole argument. The idea that AI is pushing the role of the game designer to this critical tipping point. It's really a story of transformation where the only options on the table are to evolve or pretty much get left behind. So to really get why this is so urgent, we first have to talk about a problem that, let's be real, every developer knows intimately: the game design document, the GDD. For decades, this thing has been the Bible of any project, right? But the truth is, it's fundamentally broken. And look, the tools have definitely changed over the years. We've gone from printed paper in the 80s to Word and Excel, then to wikis like Confluence, then Google Docs, and now, all the cool kids are on Figma and Miro. But here's the kicker, right? The key takeaway is that despite all these shiny new tools, the fundamental problem with the GDD, it hasn't budged. It stayed exactly the same. So what's that problem? Well, here's the deal. The game designer is supposed to be the keeper of the single source of truth for the whole team. That's the dream. But the reality? They become the single point of failure, a human bottleneck for every single piece of information.
And why does this happen? Because they are stuck in this impossible juggling act. Think about it. You're trying to design new features, but you also have to fix old ones. You're constantly getting pinged with questions from everybody. You're trying to check live metrics. And the biggest one, you're translating the exact same mechanic into different languages for the programmers, for the artists, for QA, even for marketing. It's an outdated, crazy, inefficient system that just burns people out, period.
And this is where AI crashes the party. But it's not just another tool in the toolbox. No, this is a fundamental, almost existential shift. The source article is super clear on this. The choice of whether to use AI, that's not really a choice anymore. So the author, Sitnikov, he started plugging AI into his workflow the very day GPT 3.5 dropped, way back in late 2022. And while most of us were still just kind of poking at it, being skeptical, he was already building a completely new workflow that gave him a multi-year head start on everybody. He wasn't just playing with a new toy. He was building his second brain. And fast forward to today, being a good game designer means you gotta speak a whole new language. We're talking RAG, orchestration, Diffy.ai, N8N, ComfyUI, Cursor AI, Notebook LM. Oh, and you better know the difference between Claude 4 Sonnet and Gemini 2.5 Pro. The list it goes on, and it grows literally every single day. If that sounds like a lot, well, that's the point. The pace of change right now is just relentless.
And yeah, staying current, it comes with a price tag. The author puts a real number on it. We're talking about $100 a month minimum. And that's just for the subscriptions you need to actually access the good stuff in these powerful AI networks. This isn't a hobby anymore. It's a professional necessity.
Okay, so all of this brings us to the core thesis of the whole piece. The game designer's job isn't just to be a mechanic describer anymore, the person manually typing out docs. The new role, the new job title, is Oracle Architect. You become the designer and the controller of a living, breathing, intelligent knowledge system. So, how in the world do you build this oracle? Well, it all starts by throwing out your old process and bringing in a whole new AI toolkit. One that's designed to transform those dead, static documents into a living, intelligent system. And the heart of this entire system is a concept called RAG. That's Retrieval Augmented Generation. The author uses this fantastic analogy. Think of it like a knowledge garden. You, the designer, you tend to it. You feed it everything. Your GDDs, sure, but also your code, your art briefs, your live metrics, even your team's Slack conversations. And in return, this garden yields instant, accurate answers for anyone on the team, anytime. But okay, having a garden full of data is great, but it's pretty useless if you can't use it intelligently, right?
That's where orchestration comes in. So if RAG is the knowledge, think of orchestration as the conductor of an AI orchestra. It's a system that assigns specialized AI agents to different tasks. Like, you have one for super technical writing, another one for brainstorming creative ideas, and it makes them all work together in perfect harmony. And here's a peek at what that actually looks like in practice. On the left, you've got this simple bit of code. It's like the sheet music that tells the orchestra what to play. And then on the right, you see the visual result, this clean flowchart of AI agents, each one doing its specific job. It's all about assigning the right tool for the right job and doing it automatically. And the results you can get, they're just astonishing. I mean, with tools like Google's Notebook LM, you can literally feed in hundreds of pages of raw, messy research data. And with a single click, boom, you get a professional-looking infographic or a perfectly structured mind map. We're not talking about saving a few minutes here. This is a massive, fundamental leap in productivity.
Okay, so the theory is powerful. I think we can all agree on that. But how do you actually make this jump from game designer to AI architect? Well, the source lays out a really clear, practical roadmap for us. It really just breaks down into 4 manageable steps. Step 1, define your core GDD documents. What's the essential stuff? Step 2, feed that core into a RAG service. That's how you plant your knowledge garden. Step 3, configure different AI agents for specific roles. And finally, and this is probably the most important step, gather feedback from your actual team and then iterate.
Okay, now this is where it all comes together. Remember that huge problem we talked about, having to translate the same thing for different departments? The AI Oracle just solves it. So let's take a simple mechanic, right? A dash attack. For a programmer asking about it, the system automatically spits out the super precise technical specs they need: duration, distance, cooldowns, even the state machine.
But now, what happens when an artist asks the Oracle about that same dash attack? They get a totally different view. It's completely focused on visual needs: motion blur, trails, particle burst VFX, after-image effects. All that technical jargon, gone. It's replaced with exactly what the artist needs to know and nothing more. And for the QA team, you guessed it, the system generates a whole list of specific test cases. It actually thinks of the weird edge cases, the stress tests, the input validations, all the little things a super busy designer might forget. So you have one mechanic, one single source of truth, but it's perfectly tailored for every single role. This is the end of the communication bottleneck. And look, this isn't just some cool creative upgrade. This is a financial imperative. This is about the bottom line. The return on investment for building a system like this is so massive that, according to the author, studios literally can't afford to wait on this. I mean, just look at these numbers. Creating a detailed GDD section, something that used to take maybe 10 hours of solid work, can now be done in about an hour and a half. That's an insane time saving of over 80%. And on top of that, you get a 60% drop in miscommunication between teams and a 50% cut in bugs caused by incomplete specs. The efficiency gains here are they're undeniable. So that brings us right back to where we started, but now, hopefully, with a totally new perspective. The tools to build these incredible systems, they're not science fiction. They are here right now, today. The tech is ready, so the only question left, the one every game designer has to answer for themselves, is, are you going to keep being a describer, or are you going to evolve and become an architect? The choice really is yours.